A man who was found dead on farmland near Framlingham in Suffolk yesterday has been identified. Police named him tonight as Juris Barklusovus, a 43-year-old Latvian who was staying in Ipswich. A 36-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder.
A private road to Great Lodge Farm in the tiny hamlet of Brabling Green remains cordoned off today. The body of a man was discovered by a woman out walking yesterday afternoon. Local people expressed shock that such a crime had taken place in this remote spot.
It's usually a really safe place to be in, and Ipswich is the place that we'll be worried about, and Framlingham's usually a really, cosy, warm environment, and it's quite shocking. It's quite nasty to think it's happened so close to home, really. It's horrible.
The warden came out, and I've seen her around town before, so, a bit worried. And she said, you're not allowed to walk down here because the police are up there. And I asked her why, and she said she wouldn't tell me.
It's the first time I've heard of a murder taking place within this area. Yeah, it's, terrible news.
A post-mortem has revealed that the man died as a result of a serious assault, but the exact cause of death won't be known until further tests have been carried out. The man under arrest is currently in custody at Ipswich Police Station, being questioned by detectives. Carol Bundock, BBC Look East, Suffolk.
The chief executive of Colchester United Football Club has resigned after failing a breathalyser test. Steve Bradshaw was involved in a minor accident on Monday and was found to be over the drink-drive limit. He says he resigned because of the club's role in the community. Basildon Hospital has improved its infection control measures, according to the watchdog, which was very critical of standards at the hospital last month. The Quality Care Commission highlighted problems across the hospital. It now says infection prevention meet minimum standards.
A father from Harlow says he's finally giving up his 9-year campaign to find out what led to his son's death. Stuart Lubbock died in 2001 after a party at the Essex home of the entertainer Michael Barrymore. Terry Lubbock has been fighting to discover the truth about what happened ever since, but he says the strain has become too much.
Terry Lubbock's now on tablets to stop his fits. He says his health has been ruined by years of struggle to solve the mystery surrounding the death of his son, Stuart.
I feel as though I'm pulling on a heavy weight, dragging it along, and it's getting heavier and heavier.
Back in 2001, after a party at Michael Barrymore's home in Essex, Stuart Lubbock's body was found by the pool. Stuart, seen here at his wedding, had suffered severe internal injuries.
Yeah, we had T-shirts made up.
Ever since, Terry's battled the authorities to try to discover exactly what happened to his son. But now he's giving up the fight.
You do not get any respite, and I've just got to try and cut off now from the situation to try and clear my head.
Michael Barrymore's always denied any wrongdoing. Essex Police told the BBC the investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Stuart Lubbock remains active, and Essex Police repeats its call to those who were present to give a full account of what occurred. The statement continued. Those involved in the investigation understand the pressure that Terry is under as a result of not knowing what happened that night and are determined to discover the truth surrounding the events that took place. Terry Lubbock says he still misses his son and hopes others will now take up the campaign to uncover the truth. Gareth George, BBC Look East.
Fake perfume valued at £1.5 million has been seized at the port of Felixstowe. 20,000 counterfeit bottles of Coco Chanel were destined for sale in the UK. The haul arrived from China in 2 containers. The VAT payable on that amount of genuine perfume would be more than £200,000.
The recent icy weather has cost this region about £60 million. The snow and ice have disrupted deliveries and stopped lots of people from getting to work. The cost of gritting our roads has also run into millions. The details now from Joel Mapp.
Let's start with our roads. Now, over the last week, Essex County Council has spent £576,000 on gritting. In Norfolk, they spent £500,000, and in Suffolk, about the same. So in total, our councils have spent more than £1.5 million on gritting. And that's very unusual in such a short period. And in Suffolk, they've already used 2/3 of their entire winter quota of grit.
It costs what it costs. We have to keep the highway network free, and therefore we are not on an unlimited budget, of course not, but we have to keep the community going. So during the course of the winter we'll be reporting back to councillors how the finances are going, and if extra money is required, I'm sure they'll be directing money in that direction.
But what about the snow's impact on industry? Well, more than 2.5 million people work in the region's private sector, and the Federation of Small Businesses estimates 1 in 10 couldn't get to work. That's 250,000 absentees, which it claims has cost the region's economy £60 million. And at Aspel Cider in Suffolk, the cost of the snow and ice could run into thousands. That's mostly overtime for workers who've been fighting to keep the production line going.
We've had a lot of pipes freeze up, so it's been very difficult to get production going, so people have come in earlier to make sure that the lines and the presses can run. We've also had situations where suppliers have managed to get in with raw material, but they've not been able to get in during normal working hours on occasion, so people have had to stay on to unload lorries when they get in. So we've incurred quite a lot of extra time and extra hours to make sure that we maintain our production.
Add to all that the cost for our airports and shops, and it's clear it's been a painful few days.
You're watching Look East from the BBC. Coming up, a contemporary sound for the second of our Christmas carols this week.
So it's a big day for Formula One here in the East. In a moment, what Martin Brundle thinks about Michael Schumacher coming out of retirement to drive for the Mercedes team at Brackley.
But first, the engine makers Cosworth in Northampton will